The moment he appeared, the safe life I'd built vanished. My wedding day was supposed to be my final armor against the past, a gilded cage securing me to Grant Sterling's predictable world. I was terrified, not of marriage, but of the truth it would forever bury. The elegant seaside ceremony felt like a countdown I desperately needed to survive. If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace. The roar was deafening. 3 black SUVs smashed through the hedges, tearing up the manicured lawn. Out stepped Alessio the Phantom Bianchi, radiating power and danger like a physical force. His men froze the crowd. He walked straight toward me, past my shocked fiancé, his dark, intense eyes searching mine as if searching a long-lost map. He stopped, ignoring the chaos. "Stop the ceremony. You're my missing wife." The words hung in the salt air like a curse. My missing wife. Grant's hand tightened around mine, his knuckles white. 200 guests sat frozen, champagne glasses suspended mid-air. "Security!" Grant's voice cracked. "Get this maniac out!" But Alessio's men had already positioned themselves at every exit. The Phantom controlled empires from the shadows, and he was staring at me like I'd stolen something precious. Aurora. My name from his lips, tender, devastated, like I was supposed to recognize the ache in that single word. I'd never seen this man in my life. "You have the wrong person," I managed. "I don't know you." Pain flickered across his face. "Don't you? Then explain the crescent moon scar on your left shoulder blade, from falling from a cherry tree in Tuscany at 7. My breath stopped. I had that scar, but the memory of how flickered and died. "Your fiancé has a birthmark behind her right ear. She's allergic to strawberries, but not raspberries. She hums Puccini when nervous. And right now, you're terrified, not of me, of remembering." Each detail was true, things I'd never told Grant. "Because you're my wife," Alessio said softly. "You disappeared 2 years ago. I've been searching ever since." If you can't stand people who manipulate others with impossible claims they can't prove, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Type, "Nobody deserves that." Because what happened next only got worse. Grant's father pushed forward. "Mr. Bianchi, we can discuss this privately, but your family does business with the Kozlov syndicate, my enemies. The moment Aurora married your son, she'd become a target. How long before an accident was arranged?" I watched Grant's father's face. The denial didn't come fast enough. Alessio pulled out a photograph. The woman was me. Same face, same eyes, but radiating joy I'd never felt, standing beside Alessio in Italian countryside. "That's not me," I whispered. "Isn't it? Or is it you before someone made you forget?" A sharp crack split the air. The fountain exploded. Guests screamed, diving for cover as bullets tore through the wedding arch where I'd been standing. "Snipers!" Alessio's man shouted. Alessio moved impossibly fast, his body colliding with mine, taking me down, covering me as chaos erupted. His men returned fire with brutal efficiency. One terrible clarity emerged. The shooters were aiming for me. "Who are they?" I gasped. "Kozlov's men or your fiancé's family? Does it matter?" He pulled me toward the SUV. "They want you dead." I looked back. Grant was safe, protected, while armed men shot at me on my wedding day. "I can't." "You can. You will." He shoved me into the vehicle as bullets pinged off armor. "Breathe. You're safe now." But I wasn't. I was in a car with the most dangerous man alive, wearing a blood-stained wedding dress, running from people who wanted me dead for reasons I couldn't understand. Why? I'm nobody. I catalog paintings. Alessio turned to face me, raw pain in his eyes. That's what terrifies me most, that you really don't remember, that they broke you so completely. He touched my cheek with unexpected gentleness. But I will help you remember, even if you hate me for it. I woke in a room, too beautiful to be a cell, but too secure to be anything else. Bulletproof windows overlooked mountains, no inside door handle, my wedding dress replaced with silk pajamas. You were unconscious, Alessio said from the doorway. Maria changed your clothes. I didn't touch you. How considerate, respecting boundaries while holding me prisoner. Protecting you. There's a difference. Is there? Because I've been kidnapped by a stranger claiming I'm his dead wife? Missing wife. And you're not dead. He moved closer, though someone tried very hard to make it that way. I don't remember you, I said, finally. If I was your wife, wouldn't I remember getting married, falling in love? Not if someone made you forget. He pulled out his phone, showed me a video of the woman from the photograph, the woman who looked exactly like me, laughing as Alessio spun her in a garden. Her joy was incandescent. The woman had my scar, my crooked left pinky from a childhood break, everything. You disappeared 3 weeks after that video, Alessio said quietly. We'd gone to Florence for your birthday. You went out for coffee one morning. Never came back. Until I saw your photograph in a society magazine announcing your engagement to Grant Sterling. Over 2 days, he showed me everything. Marriage certificates, photos spanning years, videos of the woman who was me, speaking fluent Italian, a language I understood but shouldn't, letters in my handwriting about a life I couldn't remember. He said, "This is your signature," spreading documents across the table. You weren't just my wife. You were my partner. You helped build the legitimate side of my business, art authentication, museum acquisitions. The signature matched mine exactly. Why would someone do this? Leverage. When taking you didn't control me, they tried something else. They made you disappear completely, gave you a new life where you'd never remember who you really were. And Grant? His expression darkened. The Sterling Corporation does business with Kozlov, art forgeries, money laundering through gallery acquisitions. You, with your authentication expertise, would have been the perfect unwitting accomplice. I tried to recall my life before Grant. My memories started 2 years ago, waking in a Boston hospital with no identification, no memory. Everything before that was blank, a void I'd filled with comfortable lies. You see it now, Alessio said softly. The holes. Someone took you, Aurora, tried to erase you. But you're not small and forgettable. You never were. His hand traced my jaw slowly. The touch sent electricity through me, familiar in a terrifying way. Do you feel it? The recognition your mind won't acknowledge but your body remembers? I did. When he touched me, something woke up, something that knew him. Show me more, I whispered. Alessio took me to Florence under heavy guard. We stood in the Piazza della Signoria as dawn broke, and something in me remembered. The ache of familiarity was undeniable. You loved this statue, he said, nodding toward Perseus.
You'd stand here for hours. I walked toward it, my feet knowing the path. Perseus looks at Medusa's head with horror, not pride. He's killed a monster, but the act has made him monstrous too. Yes, that's exactly what you said. We retraced steps I didn't remember. The cafe where I'd disappeared, closed now. The apartment, occupied by strangers. The gallery, my records scrubbed clean. At each location, fragments surfaced. A smell, a view, church bells making me want to cry. Grant Sterling is calling you, Alessio said, holding out my phone. 15 missed calls. I took it. Hit answer. Speaker. Aurora, thank God. Where are you? Safe, no thanks to your family's associates who tried to kill me. Silence. That wasn't us. Please, come home. We can protect you. Protect me? Did you ever love me, Grant? Or was I always just a solution to your authentication problem? More silence. It's not like that. The business arrangement doesn't change. Business arrangement. That's all I was. Please, tell your father his arrangement is over. Aurora Sloan doesn't exist. She never did. I ended the call. My hand shook. Alessio pulled me against him. For the first time, I let myself break. I've got you, he murmured. I've always got you, tesoro. The Italian endearment unlocked something. Alessio calling me that in bed, whispering it as we danced, shouting it the day I disappeared. I remember that word. I gasped. You called me that. What else? You, us, not everything, but... I pressed my hand to his chest. I loved you. I love you. The kiss was inevitable. His hands cradled my face with devastating tenderness, and I tasted 2 years of grief and hope. This was real. This was the life someone tried to steal. If you believe truth deserves to be uncovered, no matter how painful, hit that subscribe button. People who traffic in lies and manipulation won't, and you need to hear what I discovered next.
That night, memories came faster. Our private wedding in Italian countryside, building the authentication business together, the thrill of outmaneuvering rivals at auctions, making love in every room of our Florence apartment, being whole. I remember being happy with you, I said, lying in his arms as moonlight painted silver across sheets. Alessio traced patterns on my skin. You were magnificent. Even when they tried to break you, you survived. I survived, but I didn't live, not like I did with you. He kissed my scarred shoulder. The Sterling Corporation knows you're with me. Kozlov knows I've found you. They'll come for us. They can't afford to let you live, not when you know what you know. Then we fight. I turned to face him, saw fierce pride in his eyes. I'm done running. If they want a war, we give them one. My missing wife returns, he murmured, and kissed me until the world narrowed to just us. They hit us 2 days later on the mountain road back to Alessio's compound. A coordinated strike. SUVs boxing us in, snipers in hills, a helicopter overhead. Kozlov and Sterling working together. "Stay down!" Alessio shoved me to the floor as bullets shattered windows. Armored glass held, barely. His men returned fire, but we were outnumbered. An explosion rocked the lead vehicle. It crashed through the guardrail, plummeting down the mountainside. "There's an old monastery," I heard myself say. "Half a kilometer north, converted into an art storage facility. I authenticated a collection there 3 years ago." Everyone looked at me. "You remember?" Alessio asked. I remember. The floor plan, the security systems, underground tunnels the monks built as escape routes. "I can get us inside, I can get us out." Alessio's smile was sharp and proud. "You heard her? North, now." The driver executed a maneuver that would have terrified me a week ago. We broke through the ambush, the helicopter pursuing overhead. "They'll follow us," Marco warned. "Good," Alessio said, checking his weapon and handing me a smaller pistol. "Then we'll be ready." The monastery was exactly as I remembered it. Ancient stone, high windows, security I'd helped design. My fingerprints still worked on the biometric lock. 3 minutes until they breached the perimeter, Marco reported, setting up defensive positions. More than enough time. I moved through the building with forgotten certainty, leading Alessio's men to underground tunnels. These passages connect to the valley below. We can escape, regroup at the secondary safe house. Or, Alessio said quietly, "we can end this." I turned. He stood surrounded by masterpieces worth millions, looking at me like I was the only priceless thing in the room. "They'll never stop coming. Not while they see you as a threat. Not while they think you're weak." "Then we show them I'm not." I moved to the security console. The Kozlov Syndicate deals in art forgeries. Sterling launders money through galleries. I authenticated collections for both before I disappeared. I have the records, the proof. Everything they've spent 2 years trying to bury. Understanding dawned in his eyes. The files. I backed up everything here. Insurance then, evidence now. Gunfire echoed above. They'd breached the monastery. "Marco, hold them as long as you can," Alessio ordered. Then to me, "How long to download?" 2 minutes. "Then we have 2 minutes." He positioned himself at the tunnel entrance, weapon ready. "Get your evidence, Tesoro. Then we burn their empires to the ground." Truth over comfort if you're Team Aurora. The lies and manipulation can't win. Now watch what happens when she finally fights back. I worked with shaking fingers, downloading years of authentication records, transaction histories, gallery inventories, proving systematic fraud. Everything needed to destroy both organizations. The firefight intensified above. 30 seconds, I called. The download completed. I grabbed the drive, turned to run, and froze. Grant Sterling stood at the gallery entrance. Blood stained his shirt. His eyes were wild. "It didn't have to be this way. You were supposed to stay buried."
Stay mine. I was never yours. Just a useful fiction. You were perfect, beautiful, quiet, with no past. Do you know how valuable that is? Valuable enough to kidnap, to brainwash, to turn into a puppet. It was supposed to be simple. Grant's voice cracked. "You'd marry me, authenticate our acquisitions, never remember.
Then Bianchi ruin everything. Behind him, Alessio moved through shadows with predatory silence. She was never yours to ruin. She's mine. She's always been mine. More footsteps. Kozlov's men flooding the gallery. Alessio pulled me toward the tunnels. Ready to run, Tesoro? Ready to fight. I grabbed a priceless Caravaggio from the wall, hurled it toward the sprinkler system. Glass shattered, water and alarms erupted, halon gas flooding the room to protect the art. In the chaos, we ran.
3 months later, my evidence brought down both the Sterling Corporation and the Kozlov Syndicate. International art fraud, money laundering, racketeering. The charges were extensive and ironclad. Grant and his father faced decades in prison. Kozlov's organization crumbled under legal pressure from a dozen countries. And I stood in a private garden in Tuscany, wearing a simple white dress, watching Alessio approach with that same fierce, devoted love in his eyes. "Ready?" he asked, offering his hand. "For?" "To marry me again, properly this time, without interruptions." The priest was waiting. No guests, just us and the Italian countryside, and the truth we'd fought to reclaim. "I, Aurora Bianchi," I said, the name fitting perfectly now, "take you, Alessio, to be my husband. Again, forever, for real." His kiss tasted like coming home. Later, on the terrace of our reclaimed Florence apartment, watching sunset over the Arno, I felt his arms wrap around me from behind. "Any regrets?" he murmured. I thought of Grant, of the safe life I almost accepted, the 2 years stolen, the violence and danger of loving a man like Alessio. "Not one," I said, and meant it, because I'd learned something crucial. Safety without truth is just a prettier prison. Love without authenticity is just another comfortable lie. I'd rather have dangerous honesty than safe fiction, passion that terrifies me than comfort that numbs me, Alessio's fierce devotion than Grant's calculated affection. "I remember everything now," I told him. "Every moment, every kiss, every fight, every time we built something beautiful from something brutal. And I'd choose it all again. I'd choose you, every time." If you watched or listened up to this point, comment the country you are watching this from. Represent your country. Alessio turned me in his arms, his dark eyes seeing all of me, the art historian, the strategist, the woman who'd survived having her identity erased and came back stronger. "My missing wife," he said, with that half-smile that still made my heart skip. "Not missing anymore," I corrected. "Found, reclaimed, exactly where I belong." We'd built an empire on truth instead of lies, on chosen loyalty instead of manufactured obligation, on love that had survived amnesia, kidnapping, bullets, and betrayal. Grant had wanted a comfortable fiction. Alessio had fought for the complicated truth. And in the end, the truth had set me free. Free to remember, free to choose, free to love with the intensity I'd been denying myself in pursuit of safety that was never real. The phantom and his missing wife found at last. Not because he crashed a wedding, but because he refused to let me disappear. Some love stories start with a whisper. Ours started with an impossible claim: 3 black SUVs and a man willing to burn the world down to bring me home. And I was never more grateful for the chaos.